Well, hello everybody. You may hear in my voice I'm a little sick, just a little. Like sore throat, headache, eyes hurt. It's fine. It's all fine now. I'm sorry I haven't posted in a while, but for this video we'll be doing Kerbal Space Program 2 and possibly 1 in the future. But anyways, we're going to call this 5 Iron Star for YouTube, and we need to go to mission control and accept our first contract. Oh man. I decided to launch a rocket, I just build a simple rocket. 2 fuel tanks, 1 engine. And I almost forgot to add a decoupler. Do some science and then we're off. And you may have noticed that my fuel, I'm not losing any Delta V. It's because of the game bugged out and it just gave me infinite fuel. But I'll fix that in the next video. Cause I don't know how to do it. But we've made it into space. We're gonna be doing some science, going on EVA. Perfect. And I'm just gonna wait to come back down. We don't want to go too high, cause then it take forever for us to get down. Now, since I have infinite delta V, I'm going to be trying to slow down instead of just using the parachute. Then the game bugged out once again, and I had to manually decouple the rocket. And we're falling. Now that I think about it, um, this probably wasn't the best, like the most aerodynamic thing I've ever built. I mean, as you can see, it launched pretty far from the Kerbal Space Center. And I'm also trying to get used to time warping with the, I forgot what the keys are, with the keyboard and not your mouse. And every time I try and slow down, I always pause the game. Anyway, we have done our first contract. Hooray! Next contract should be getting out of the atmosphere, and I don't know why. I don't know why, but the game gave me way more science than I should have. I'm not really sure why, but it did. So I guess we're just gonna have to I guess we're just gonna have to deal with it. You know? Anyway, we have unlocked half of the first node in the tech tree. Isn't that insane? So we're gonna try and build a more stable rocket with a heat shield and some science. Because we like science, right? We like science. So to get out of the atmosphere, I'm building a more taller rocket. And not the swivel engine, but a launch engine. And then, I wanted to have it separate and then launch back down, but I couldn't, so I scrapped the idea. Realized I forgot fins, and then went back to the VIB. Added some fins, realized those are too big. Perfect. Do some science, and we have liftoff. Woohoo! We've officially made it into space, or apoapsis in space. And as we time warp in, we finally made it in space, right? We've left the atmosphere once again. And it looks to be we're landing in the water. Or so we think. As you'll see in a moment, I don't want to spoil it, but we end up falling and landing right next to the launch pad. There's a rapid approach. As we pass through the clouds, we deploy our parachute and question ourselves on how we made it this far from the water. Give some quick science. Question why my Kerbal is doing a surface sample in the rockets. Realize my screen turned off. Cover our vessel. And we've done it once again. We've completed our mission. Hooray! Shows orbit, but mm. Anyway, our next two missions will be orbit Kerbin and the buoyancy test. Now, I'm just gonna unlock some more stuff in the tech tree. Because, why not? We like the tech tree. Build, once again, another rocket. Try and add some more science. End up failing. As you can see. So I just put it on the side, but then I realized it's not really aerodynamic, so I'm gonna add a fairing around it. Now, I'm not really good with the fairings in KSP 2. I thought barely hitting it would be enough, but it wasn't, so I had to go just a little more up. And then, so I thought that was good, so I added the rest of the fairing. Made it a little taller. Just a little. And we got ourselves a fairing. Now I just need a heat shield on that, because I know I'm probably gonna forget to deploy that fairing. So we added a heat shield on there just in case. And then the fairing will burn up by itself. And here I really wanted to make it to orbit, but I thought, that that might not work in space very well. So I'm gonna scrap that design and then I just kinda replace that engine with a swivel. And then we're making our launch stage. And I also suck at making boosters or adding boosters. We just want, but from my information, we want it to be just below the engine bell, and then the fins. Man, I don't even know what was going on with the fins. The fins were just not wanting to do their job. I'm not really sure why. They just didn't want to. As we continue, I thought I just duplicated it, but apparently I didn't. And I don't want those SRBs to hit the fins or the engine, because infinite fuel means they'll never run out of fuel. So I added separatrons on there. Make sure they cleared the rocket, and they cleared the rocket well. So that's good. We like that. Now, actually, I'm doing this voiceover a day later, so I forget what I've done. And as we launch, this is not the most stable rocket I've ever made. As you can see, I'm trying to fight the way it wants to go. And we did also break something. I don't know what it was, but we broke something. Anyway, but I struggled to get out of the atmosphere and into orbit because the rocket was like, it wasn't going it wasn't wanting to turn east. It was like, it was going a different direction. We didn't like that. And here I was just gonna burn to orbit, but I decided to set a maneuver. So yeah. As we set our maneuver, it glitches out on my end, but I got rid of that. Had to redo the launch. So that went well. Scary, very scary. Burning to orbit. Burning to orbit. Now, I just came back from like, I don't know what, I don't really know. I just came back from bowling. I'm hyped right now. And we've successfully made it to orbit. This time, this day, I trusted the maneuver planner and we actually made it to orbit. Though it did say to stop, but I didn't stop. And I'm glad I didn't. It doesn't have to be the most stable orbits. It just has to be in orbit. But we don't like unstable orbits. But we just left it. And I tried to stop it just a little bit over land to see if we could land in the water. Yeah, I don't know why I did that. We just went straight on land. We just like, I don't know, man. We just went straight down. One spicy re-entry later, we now begin our descent down to Kerbin. Sadly, we missed the water, but it's easy to get the buoyancy test. As I did indeed forget to deploy that fairing during a re-entry, but we got it. We got it deployed. It broke. And we have our science. And our heat shield popped off, but that's A-okay. A-okay. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. And that's gonna wrap up my first ever Kerbal Space Program video. We somehow made it past the Kármán line and even got into orbit with a very questionable rocket, so I'll take that as a win. If you enjoyed, stick around. There's definitely more chaos and hopefully better rockets coming soon. See you in the next mission.